Welcome back to another edition of Sports Zone March Madness coverage presented to you by SBS-TV News. I'm Alonso Trana.
And I'm Elijah Young.
Eli, take us away with the Sweet 16.
Kicking it off, Purdue beating Texas in an absolute thriller, 79-77. The game ended with a Trey Kaufman-Renn tip-in to win the game. Iowa beat Nebraska 77-71. Then we had Illinois beat Houston 65-55 in a big upset. Arizona took down Arkansas 109-88.
Duke defeats St. John 80-75 in a thrilling matchup. Later, Michigan outlasts Alabama 90-77. Tennessee handles Iowa State 76-62, and UConn survives against Michigan State 67-63. Let's move on to the Elite Eight. What do you got?
In the Elite Eight, we had Illinois beating Iowa, our sweetheart of the tournament. Iowa is finally gone 71-59. Then we had Arizona beat Purdue 79-64.
Michigan absolutely obliterates Tennessee 95-62 in a game that wasn't even close from the start. And UConn beats Duke off an amazing buzzer beater 73-72.
We're now left with the Final Four. We have UConn versus Illinois and Arizona versus Michigan. Tell us about UConn.
Braylon Mullins from Greenfield Central, local Hoosier, 5-star recruit with an amazing buzzer beater to win the game. The big talk is, did Caden Boozer really mess that up? On to Illinois. What do you think?
Illinois, that Keaton Wagler kid is phenomenal.
Yeah.
A freshman who averages 18 points per game with a 40% from three-pointer, that's unheard of. And I saw him drop 40-some points against Purdue earlier this season. Kid's legit.
For Arizona, Braden Burries, freshman, averaging 16.1 points per game. And he's got a stacked team. Arizona looked really good against Purdue. Little shaky in the first half, but they locked in. And they outscored the Boilermakers like 40-something to 20 in the second half. Too much for Purdue. Arizona's moving on.
And then moving on to Michigan. Hands down, the best team on paper. The best team money can buy. Most of their team is just straight portal players. Yaxel Lendenberg, Big Ten Player of the Year, All-American. He's transferred like 4 billion times. I think it's only 3 if we're being exact.
Yeah.
And then Elliot Cadeau at point guard. They're insane. Adea Mara, man.
So for the Michigan-Arizona matchup, what do you think? Who's your pick?
So I think it's going to be a real close first half. I think it's going to be back and forth. But once you get that 10 minutes left in the game, Michigan is a different team. I don't know what possesses them. They just start making every single shot. They pull away. They're phenomenal. I don't think a team can beat Michigan this year.
I feel like both teams are at such a high caliber, but like you said, Michigan, the best team you can buy. I feel like they're just going to outlast Arizona, and they look so dominant. Granted, I know it's Tennessee. I know Tennessee doesn't have a lot of history in these tournaments, especially in the Final Four, but Michigan just dismantled Tennessee, and I think the Wolverines are going to move on to the national title. What about UConn, Illinois?
UConn, Illinois, I think this is just such a fun matchup between, 2 star freshmen and Braylon Mullins and Keaton Wagler. I love both teams. UConn obviously has more depth. They obviously are the better team. They have Dan Hurley as their coach. They have the experience. They're trying to get their 3rd championship in 4 years. So I think all that being said, I think UConn's experience with their older players like Alex Caravan and their coach Dan Hurley, I think that's going to really carry them in this game. And Braylon Mullins, he's clutch.
Yeah.
He's clutch.
Like you said, it almost seems like destiny for UConn to win the national title. That ending, if they pass the first weekend, UConn seems unbeatable. But for Illinois, though, do not sleep on Andre, sorry if I pronounce this wrong, Stojakovic. This kid's been playing lights out this whole tournament. And honestly, if there's one team out of these 4 that I'm really rooted for here is Illinois. Not only for the Big Ten, but also in general. They just seem like the underdog out of these 4.
Oh, I'm for sure rooting for Illinois in this tournament. But I saw a stat. UConn has not lost a game, the Sweet 16 and on, since 2011. If they make it to the Sweet 16.
Since Kemba Walker.
Since Kemba Walker. They are a championship lock. So I don't know, man. They're legit.
I feel like people always talk about the Dukes, the Kansases, the Kentuckys. No one, Kentucky has 6 national titles to their name, yet they're almost kind of put on this pedestal a little lower than Duke and Kentucky and Kansas. And I feel like if Dan Hurley is able to win this national title, I mean, three championships in 4 years. I mean, forget about Coach K. I mean, Dan Hurley, like, that's unbelievable.
When are we going to start calling them the blue blood that they are?
They are. They are.
I'm the type, I love tradition.
Yeah.
I don't want to add another blue blood. But this team is another blue blood. They have certified themselves as a blue blood, and I don't think we can argue it anymore.
And they're kind of like the villains of college basketball, specifically because Dan Hurley's attitude. Whether you love him or hate him, you cannot deny the guy's a winner. And I mean, I feel like his attitude is why his program is so successful. He's got these guys. I mean, his own players have said that their practices are harder than the games. I mean, this guy's got like a killer team, and I think UConn's going to win it all again.
And the way he can recruit, I mean, he took the Mr. Indiana Basketball Player of the Year from Indiana to UConn. He took him away from Purdue, away from IU, two predominant basketball programs. I mean, these are amazing programs, and he took them out of that state, takes them to UConn. I mean, the way he can recruit these 5 stars, the way he can win these games, it's unbelievable, and he develops his players. I mean, he's had Alex Caravan since he was a freshman. He doesn't need all these transfers. Exactly. It's insane.
And I mean, remember, even referees are scared of Dan Hurley. I mean, the way he just pressed that referee. I mean, roll the clip. And
how did he not get teed up for that? I mean, there was still 0.3 seconds on the clock.
It's just that passion. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I can find them, annoying and whatever. But I feel like if you're a coach of that caliber, you have to be uber competitive if you want to win. And I mean, I feel like Duke also let's talk about how Duke just dropped the ball on that last play. I mean, what was he thinking? Like, he could have just held on to it for a little longer.
Hold the ball. They didn't even have to get past the half court. There was 10 seconds on the clock, exactly. There's no 10-second violation going to happen. He didn't have to pass the ball up. I don't know what he was thinking, but that being said, that one play did not lose Duke the game. Duke was up by what was it, 19
At one
points?
point, yes. Duke was up by 19, and UConn just slowly clawed back. And I mean, UConn first half players was definitely Reed. I mean, he had most of UConn's points. I feel like not a lot of people are talking about his performance in the first half. He kept UConn in the game even when they were down by 15 at half. Yeah, Duke really dropped it.
I mean, I think UConn was getting a lot of deja vu of what they did to Michigan State. Up by 18. Michigan State comes back. UConn still pulled it off. This time, UConn makes the comeback and actually pulled it off.
Exactly. I mean, I think we can all agree when Duke loses, America wins. I mean, I think that's something that we're all happy about. But let's move on to the matchup for Illinois. So Illinois faced off against Iowa, right?
Yes. Or in the
Elite Eight, yes. In Iowa, Illinois. Big Ten matchup. You were hoping that Iowa was going to move on to the Final Four.
I was hoping our
Cinderella story, but Illinois Champaign. I'm also happy for Illinois, though. Their program. I mean, they're just gone through so much, and I mean, this tournament. I don't think really a lot of people underestimated them, and for them to make it this far, I'm just really glad for them.
I mean, me personally, I underestimated them. I did not think Illinois was really a 3-seed caliber. I thought they were overseeded.
I mean, last week's show we had Houston over them, and Illinois just they handled Houston. Houston played poorly.
They pretty much blew them out. I mean, the score looks closer than what that game was. Illinois dominated the whole game, and Keaton Wagler and Andrei Stojakovic, they are balling out right now. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if you can name Illinois starting 5, I mean, props to you. These names, they've been,
they're getting these people straight from overseas. None of these players are from the United States.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good for Illinois moving on to the Final Four. I'm sure Champaign is really happy right now. What about Arizona? Just they looked really, really shaky over against Purdue in the first half. Purdue looked like they got too excited. Maybe is the moment too big for the Boilermakers once again?
I mean, the lights are always too bright for the Boilermakers when it comes down to it. And my mom's a Purdue alum, so I kind of root for them a little bit. But they can never get over the hump, and it's sad. But let's not take away from Arizona. With Purdue's history, because Arizona, that second half,
unbelievable, dominant. I mean, it was pretty ugly. I mean, I remember my dad just telling me of how bad it got out of hand for the Boilermakers. I mean, just getting outscored 44-21. It was something like that. I mean, that's just something you can't have in the Elite Eight. I mean, all respect to Matt Painter. I did say earlier that if he won a national title, he was going to be in that conversation. I guess we're going to have to wait another year for that. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think maybe we're hating too much on Purdue. I still think they had a solid tournament. They made it to the Elite Eight. But, yeah, it's just very disappointing second half for them.
Yeah, Matt Painter still stays below Tom Izzo and the Dan Hurleys and, the Coach K's. He's not in those talks yet.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Arizona can bring it home for the West Coast. What about Michigan? I mean, dominant performance. I mean,
the Axel London boys, I mean, there's no better player in the country. Right?
Yeah.
It's insane. Big Ten Player of the Year. He was a consensus All-American. And then when you add a Day Amara and Elliot Cadeau, I mean, how is that even possible to have those three players on the same court? I mean, this is transfer portal university right now.
And I mean, all respect to Volunteer fans, but Tennessee looked like they didn't even belong on the court that game. I mean, it was ugly. And it was just if you're going to show up to the Elite Eight, I feel like you should at least look like you belong there. Tennessee, I don't understand. Coming off a big win over Iowa State, they just looked like a shadow of themselves against Michigan.
I mean, everyone competed except for Tennessee.
Exactly.
Tennessee was an embarrassment to the SEC.
Yeah.
The SEC continues to prove that they're not a basketball conference. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
They got one natty with Florida. The SEC is not a basketball conference, and Tennessee just shows us it.
Now, I understand Michigan's a really good team, probably the best in the country. But to lose by 33 in that fashion, I mean, I just think that's too out of hand. And, yeah, honestly, like you said, the SEC still looks like, And Tennessee, they're going to have to wait for another year to make the Final Four. I mean, is Tennessee ever going to break this Final Four curse that they have?
I don't think so. I mean, you remember our middle school PE teacher, big Tennessee fan, and we used to give her smack every single day about it, and I think that will carry on for the rest of our lives.
Exactly. And I mean, in football, they're not looking too good either. I mean,
the Volunteer fans, I'm sorry for the hate, but man,
we should relax on them a little bit. Tennessee, we don't want the entire state of Tennessee on us. Okay, now let's move on to our Final Four picks. I mean, we got first up, UConn versus, who would they play? UConn, Illinois.
UConn versus Illinois.
I mean, I really want Illinois. I'm rooting, but dude, UConn just seems like they're destined to go to at least the Natty. Illinois kind of seems like they're just out of their league in this one.
Yeah, I love Illinois. I want them to win it all so bad, but I feel like UConn is a team, they don't play for the Final Four, they play to win a Natty.
Yeah.
Illinois is happy to be in the Final Four. I mean, they're not even supposed to be here. But UConn expected this.
Yeah, but I feel like you got to think, if Illinois can pull this off,
they could.
Imagine the upset that would be. I mean, this is like a David Goliath matchup for me. I mean, UConn not only has been dominant in the past and dominant now, but the way they just came off that win, that momentum, it's going to be a lot for Illinois to handle. UConn's looking like they're ready to run through a wall to get to the Natty again.
When you just come off of beating Duke, I mean, it's hard to beat a team that just did that. You are on cloud nine. You are on top of the world as UConn, and I think they're going to carry that momentum and take down Illinois in this game.
I mean, like you said earlier, though, UConn's veterans, that obviously we know Caravan. I mean, he's been there since a freshman, and UConn's experience in these moments, I don't know. I really want Illinois to win, but I think it's too much for them.
I mean, and it's not only veterans. I mean, they have the clutchest player in the country with Braylon Mullins. I mean, so when you have a freshman playing like he's been there before, you know your team's set. And I think UConn's roster and experience and just overall clutch factor is too much for Illinois to handle in this game.
So we both agree then UConn to the national championship?
Yes.
All right. So then what about Michigan, Arizona then? I feel like that the gap between those two teams is a lot smaller than UConn, Illinois.
Definitely a lot smaller, but if we're looking on paper, Michigan is so much further ahead of every other team in the country. I mean, I think the gap between UConn and Arizona is a lot closer than the gap between Michigan and Arizona. And Michigan is the best team you can buy with money. It's kind of crazy. How good their roster is. Mm-hmm. And but Arizona's a good team. And when they're playing hot, they were ranked number 1 in the country. They're a 1 seed for a reason.
And this is Arizona's first Final Four since 98 or it's been a long time, at least since the early 2000s. So this is also a big moment for Arizona. And Michigan, this is their first Final Four since,
2018.
2018,
right?
and that's when they went to the national title against Villanova. So I feel like we're kind of seeing a theme here, right? You have Illinois, which is this is their first Final Four since also like
forever.
2002, 2000.
I mean, yeah.
So you have this team where Illinois and Arizona, it's their first Final Four in over 20 years, and then you have teams like UConn and Michigan that are more used to this, recency. So I feel like it'll be very interesting to see this like competition between, like these teams that have been here recently and these teams that are kind of like pioneers in this era for their programs.
But if we're talking about Michigan, Dusty May was not the head coach when they went in 2018.
No. It's been a while.
I mean, the program is used to it, but it's not the same coach. Not even close to the same players. I mean, that was 8 years ago. So if we're talking about history, yes, they've been there. Their fans expect this type of success.
Exactly.
But it's the first time we've seen it under Dusty May. So, that being said, I still think they're going to take down Arizona. I mean, I saw a stat that a team like west of Texas hasn't won the championship in 30 years or something. It's kind of a crazy stat.
I mean, but that's common knowledge that the East Coast dominates basketball. I mean, it's always been like that. But yeah, so then for the national title game, if we have Michigan, UConn, that's like, for me, that's such a toss-up. Like, who would you have in that?
I mean, it really is just a coin flip. Like, I personally don't have a strong pick yet. I haven't fully decided.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I think Michigan is too much to handle for anyone. Yeah. I mean, when they are playing good, there's not a team in the country that can even compete with them.
And I mean, granted, I know everybody wants like, the upsets, the Cinderella stories, but I feel like Michigan and UConn, they're by far the two best teams in the nation, better than everybody else. And I feel like it'd be the best fit to have them both in the national championship game. I mean, I think this would be a generational game if those two teams are, make the final game.
Yeah, I think this game will go down to the wire if they meet. And honestly, it would be who can make the biggest shots at the end.
Yeah.
Is Lindenborg going to step up? Is, Braylon Mullins going to step up again? Is Alex Caravan going to step up? I mean, there's a bunch of different scenarios you could play in this game, and it could go either way.
Now, do you think coaching also comes into play? I mean, Dan Hurley, Dusty May. I think Dan Hurley, I think he can outcoach anybody, honestly.
Dan Hurley can outcoach any coach probably in the history of basketball. The run he's on right now is incredible.
I mean, we got to have a serious conversation. If he wins another natty, 3 natties in 4 years, I mean, some of his players would have 3, like Caravan, 3 natties from freshman to senior. I mean, I really think, this is something that he would have to be the best coach in college basketball in the history. I mean, no arguing.
3 natties, and you're in the Big East. You're not even an ACC school, not a Big Ten school, not an SEC school. RIP the Pac-12, not the Pac-12. You are a Big East school doing this type of success. That's incredible. Because there's better NIL funds at Duke, UNC, Michigan, obviously. Like UConn, yes, their NIL fund is a lot, but it's not on the same level as a Duke. So the fact that they have this type of success is incredible.
Yeah, and do you think Dan Hurley is here to stay at UConn for a while? Do you see him like moving anywhere?
I think if he would have left, after his second natty, because he definitely had job offers, if we're being honest. But he's getting paid a pretty penny at UConn. I think he wants to. Dan Hurley, he has an ego. He wants a statue. He doesn't want to be, I bounced around from a bunch of different teams. Yeah, I won a lot of natties, but there's no court named after me. He's the type, I want the whole court arena named after me. I want a statue outside of the stadium. That's just who Dan Hurley is.
And this is because he was hired in 2020, I believe. This is only his 6th year at UConn, which is unbelievable because if you really think about it, how many more, imagine if he's winning 3 natties now, all the years that he has ahead of him. UConn is looking like a modern day UCLA in the 70s where they won 9 natties in a decade. Could we potentially see that with the Huskies?
And he's young. He's very young for a head coach. You look at Tom Izzo. He's almost done with his career, maybe at most 5 years left. Dan Hurley still has 20, 25 years left.
Yeah. Now, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's almost like DNA in him. I was looking into his father, how his father won 28 national titles as Saint Anthony's, I believe.
Oh, the high school.
High school.
Yes.
Say his father, 28 national titles over the course of 30 years coaching at that high school. I mean, it seems like it's in the Hurley DNA to be a winner.
Yeah, and he learned from his father. He coached under him actually like before he went to UConn. So, the family is basketball. They bleed basketball. Yeah. I mean, you would almost think they're from Indiana the way they are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think coaching-wise, UConn could pull off this game in the end.
All right, but what about Dusty May, though? We're talking a lot about Dan Hurley, but also there's another team on the other side of the court. And I feel like Michigan and Dusty May deserve a lot of respect as well, even if they haven't, won 2 natties in the last 3 years. So what do you think about that?
I mean, Dusty May, the way he's able to recruit, I get it, you got the money, but pulling kids from who would be at Duke or UNC historically, you're getting them to go to Michigan. Like, that's kind of crazy. The way he's able to recruit, the way he was able to build this roster exactly how he wanted it, piece by piece. He's built a perfect roster. Yeah. I mean, this is one of the most perfect rosters we've ever seen. Probably up there with the Fab Five that Michigan had in the past.
Exactly, yeah.
So the way he was able to handpick his roster and build it exactly how he wanted it is incredible, and I don't think people give him enough credit for that.
Now, it is special, though, that this game is going to be held in Indiana, the basketball state, down in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium. I mean, I'm hoping that we can go down there, just like on the ground coverage, talk to everybody there, see the experience. I mean, just like soak that in is just going to be so special.
I mean, Indiana is the true place for basketball. If you've never been to a state championship game for Indiana, you need to go. I went the past 2 years and I watched St. Joe go play. Mm-hmm. It is a whole different experience. And then when I stayed for the 4A state championship, the highest level, last year was Fishers versus Jeffersonville, I believe. It was one of the greatest games I've ever seen, high school, college, everything. I mean, the atmosphere, the stadium is packed out.
Yeah.
They have a Pacers stadium completely full for high school basketball. I mean, could you imagine a national championship for college basketball?
I mean, and we all know that Indianapolis just gives us absolute classics. I mean, March Madness, it's only special for it to end in Indiana, and I think that's right.
Indiana is the home of basketball, and I think it is where I think the Final Four should be played in Indianapolis every year. If you ask me.
Now, imagine though, Braylon Mullins, local Hoosier. I mean, what he did. Imagine if he could do something like that in the national title in his home state. I mean, that's something we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but that would be unbelievable.
I mean, people are like, oh, Michigan and Illinois have a closer drive, so that might hurt UConn. Braylon Mullins is at home.
Yeah.
He is at home. He's on this court. Like, he is used to Indiana basketball. He loves that atmosphere. He's going to have everyone he knows at these games. Yeah. And I think he's going to go crazy.
And I'm sure Greenfield Central High will be glued to their TVs that whole game.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and every Hoosier is going to be rooting for Braylon Mullins this weekend.
Exactly, yes. Well, that wraps it all up for March Madness coverage on SBS TV News. I'm your host, Alonso Trana.
And I'm Elijah Young.
See you next time.